Hi, I'm Katie.
And I'm Quinn.
And today we're going to teach you about one of the many chemical reactions in baking.
I'm sure you've used baking soda or baking powder before, but do you know what it does, how it works, or what the difference is? Well, you're about to find out.
Baking powder and baking soda are both leaveners. They're used to expand and lighten the texture of baked goods by making small air pockets.
The air bubbles are created by an acid-base reaction that causes pockets of carbon dioxide in the dough.
For an acid-base reaction to occur, there needs to be an acid and a base, and this is where baking soda and baking powder differ.
Baking soda, also known as sodium bicarbonate, is a base, so an acid is needed for a reaction to occur. In baking, this could be brown sugar, cocoa powder, or honey. If an acidic ingredient is not present, the reaction will not happen.
Baking powder is sodium bicarbonate, but with an added-in acid powder. Because the acid is already with the base, only water is needed for the reaction to occur. To demonstrate this, we're going to do a quick experiment. So here I have a cup of warm water, half a teaspoon of baking soda, and 1 teaspoon of vinegar, which is an acid.
Now I'm going to put in the baking soda. As you can see, nothing happens. It just goes to the bottom and doesn't react with the water. Now I'm going to add the acid. As you can see, the acid starts to form a reaction with the base, causing bubbles of carbon dioxide.
All of these bubbles were formed because of the acid-base reaction that occurred between the baking soda and the vinegar, which is the acid. So now I have another cup of warm water and I have some baking powder. And when I add this baking powder to the water, it will immediately react because this already has the acid and the base in it.
Now I'm going to add the baking powder.
So the baking powder was able to just react with the water because it already had an acid and a base in the powder.
In the case of the one with the baking soda, we had to add a vinegar because it only contained a base.
Alright, so we just baked 3 batches of cookies. The first is just baking powder, the next is just baking soda, and then the last one is baking soda with an additional acid.
So this cookie has baking powder, which contains an acid and a base, so it rose like a normal cookie.
These two are where it gets a little bit more complicated. So in this cookie, we have the baking soda and an additional acid, which was the brown sugar. And in this cookie, we only have the baking soda. So as you can see, this cookie has risen, it's round, and it's a lot smaller than this cookie. This cookie is spread out, and you can see that it's kind of sunken in because the reaction didn't occur because there wasn't an additional acid, which was the brown sugar, added to the mixture. We hope you learned a lot about this chemical reaction that happens in baking.
There are always chemical reactions occurring around you that you don't even recognize.